Elden Ring's highly anticipated DLC, Shadow of the Erdtree, is finally released, and man, it is awesome. The new world looks phenomenal, and while I've just scratched the surface, it feels big enough to justify a full new game. There was some worry about this release due to the new system requirements, and it does seem like it might be harder to run on the Steam Deck fully, but luckily, this isn't completely the case. It is playable, but it's definitely harder to run than the base Elden Ring game. This video is going to go over our impressions on the DLC, how it's been so far for us, and how we think it's going to be best to experience it. A key for the expansion was provided by Bandai Namco for review, so thank you. I also want to thank 2Game for giving us a couple of keys of Shadow of the Erdtree to give away. The giveaways will be done later today, so if you're watching this video on June 22nd or past, the giveaways are done, but I still wanted to give a big thank you for them. If you want to purchase Shadow of the Erdtree, you can go over to 2Game, which is an official store, and get it for $5 off. This is not a sponsorship, but I wanted to take a quick second to thank them. Before we begin, if you want to see more videos like this, hit that like and subscribe button, and hit that notification bell if you want to be notified when our next video is uploaded. While the base Elden Ring game can hit 40 frames per second with lowered settings, the same cannot be said about Shadow of the Erdtree. Even at the lowest possible settings and a resolution of 960 by 600, I was still getting drops into the mid-30s, usually when riding around horseback in the open world. Inside buildings is a different story, and we can hit higher frame rates above 40 when in closed off areas. But as soon as you step out into the open world, it goes right back down. This is because the areas in Shadow of the Erdtree are more demanding than in the base game, and it constantly shows. The open world can drop, while some big effects, especially ones from bosses, will slow down the frame rate too. At the lowest settings, one of the first bosses, Relena, brought the frame rate down to 30 with one of the big attacks while I was on the low settings at 960 by 600. So, with this in mind, I would say 30 FPS is the way to go. Since our recommended settings for Elden Ring is at 30 frames per second, I decided to try out those settings in Shadow of the Erdtree, and for the most part, they do hold up. Unfortunately, for some of the bigger areas and bosses, I did find lowering the settings helped slightly with some little drops that could come from big effects and running around the open world very fast that could go down to 27 or 28 frames per second. So with most settings on low and a couple on medium or high, I could keep a stable 30 frames in the open world with some minor drops in boss battles or when a lot of effects are on the screen. This is all at a resolution of 1280 by 800 as well. You can lower the resolution to 1152 by 720 to mitigate some of these drops, but it wasn't enough to justify the change. All in all, I would recommend no limiting for the TDP because no matter what, there is going to be a lot of battery that it needs to use, so you should let it. A couple things I did notice, you might see some chunky blocky shadows in some brightly lit areas, but they aren't common enough to be really noticeable. And then while you're running around the open world, there may be some blurry vegetation that's closer to the screen, and there's going to be some pop-ins that happen very far off, like the grassy fields just coming in out of nowhere. Though these are soft pop-ins, so I would not say that they're very jarring or really anything to worry about. There are also a couple of bugs that can crash or freeze the game, with one in particular happening to me when I stood still for a couple of minutes and my game completely froze. Valve is testing a fix in the SteamOS preview branch, so hopefully we will see those fixes coming over to stable soon, so none of us have to experience those issues. So, is it worth playing Shadow of the Erdtree on the Steam Deck? Honestly, yes. The new DLC is incredible and expansive, and there's so much there to do. It's honestly a whole new Elden Ring sequel, but it's a DLC in the main game. It really feels like it, at least. Even if you have to lower some graphical settings to really be able to play it stable on the Steam Deck, it's still worth it to just be able to experience it. And I still found it amazing that we could take Elden Ring, bring in a brand new DLC, and play it portably. That's not something I could have thought of doing 3-4 years ago. If you're a fan of Elden Ring, you're not going to want to miss this DLC, and I'm happy to say that it is at least playable on the Steam Deck. You can purchase Shadow of the Erdtree on Steam right now for $39.99, or you could go over to 2Game and get it for $34.99, saving you $5. This is not an affiliate link. I don't make anything off this, and this isn't a promotion. Just a good deal. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like and subscribe button. You can also check out our written article impressions, which are up now on our website, steamdeckhq.com. And a big thank you to all our Patreon subscribers. You guys are awesome, and we appreciate each and every one of you. See you guys next time.